Hey guys, it's National Sneaker Day, October 9th, and today we're going to celebrate that by going over 3 quick moments in stock history where shoes play a key role. So let's get right to it. First up is Nike. It's 1984, and although it's 10 years into its company's existence, Nike isn't doing so hot. Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman built their company on the back of the American running boom, but that is coming to an end, and Nike just posted its first ever unprofitable quarters. They missed the shift in consumer trends, but luckily they did one thing that was extremely smart. They signed a promising basketball player named Michael Jordan. Even in his rookie year, it was clear that he was going to be one of the best players the game had ever seen. Then the NBA did Nike a huge favor. They sent a letter to the team stating that the shoes Jordan was wearing were not legal for league competition. He would be fined every time he took the court in them. The reason for the ban was the color scheme, and the shoes Jordan was wearing at the time were not even Air Jordans. They were the Nike Airships, but executives and the marketing team at Nike knew these were just details. They had him keep wearing the shoes, and they covered the fines. When the Air Jordan was launched, Nike leaned into the mythology of the ban with ads that implied the league was trying to prohibit the shoe for being too good. It sold out everywhere, leaving Nike to state in its 1985 annual report, "We can take pride in the fact that despite losing quarters, we were still able to produce the hottest selling product the athletic footwear industry has ever seen, the Air Jordan line." Nike would never be the same company. The stock took off in the mid-'80s and has basically never stopped. Original Air Jordans sell for tens of thousands, and despite their namesake having retired over a decade ago, new releases remain popular as well. It's 2013, and Stephen Curry's original shoe deal with Nike has expired. He takes a meeting with them to talk about his new contract and how they're going to handle his brand going forward. During the meeting, a Nike representative repeatedly refers to Stephen as Stefan. Additionally, they have a slide in their presentation that has Kevin Durant's name where Curry's should be, showing that they are just recycling recruiting materials. Nike has a lot of athletes to manage, but Curry at this point already had a pretty high profile. He'd averaged 23 points per game the preceding season and was becoming a fan favorite. They could have at least gotten his name right. Still, what a lot of people miss about this story is that Nike still had a chance to save face. They had a matching clause in Curry's contract, so when Under Armour offered Curry $4 million per year, Nike could have had him for that price, and they let him walk. A few years later, Curry had won 2 MVP awards, and his team, the Warriors, had won 3 NBA championships. He was the face of Under Armour, whose sales skyrocketed upwards on the back of his signature shoe, the Curry 1. Under Armour became the second best-selling sports brand in America, passing Adidas. They were still dwarfed by Nike, but people thought there was a chance that they could gain on them. Curry was selling more shoes than any basketball player besides Michael Jordan, and a Morgan Stanley analyst noted that if the upside case played out, his signing could result in the addition of $14 billion to the market cap of Under Armour. The stock price did rise and then continued to rise, but then, much like how Nike suffered its first ever quarterly losses by missing a major shift in trend, Under Armour suffered its first ever quarterly losses in 2017 by missing the trend to athleisure. They also overproduced Curry's second shoe, saturating the market, sending them into the discount bin and taking away some of their cool factor. This cratered demand for the eventual third edition. The stock price has been pummeled since then, showing that although one great athlete can boost a company, management still matters. In 2011, Meb Keflezighi, one of America's most decorated distance runners, was effectively dropped by Nike. To be fair, he was 36 at the time, and distance runners don't often have a profile worth paying for even in their best years. He found a home instead with Skechers, a company with limited offerings in the performance market but who were looking to take a swing. Serious runners were skeptical. 3 years later in Boston, undoubtedly the most heavily covered marathon in American history due to the bombings of the prior year, Meb was wearing the soon-to-be-released Go Meb Speed 3. Shortly into the race, he surged to the lead. The Boston Marathon takes place on Monday, so the stock market is open. Over the course of the next 2 hours, the intraday chart would show a small surge coinciding in real time with Meb's approach towards the finish line. Outside of maybe when Congress is voting on a major bill, I can't think of an instance where stock is moving tick for tick while the probability of an event that's taking place live changes. When he won, he became the first American to do so in 31 years and the only winner to ever wear Skechers. The Washington Post and Deadspin both framed the win as a victory of Skechers over Nike. Runner's World interviewed a merchandise executive for the brand who said that although the performance line had been gaining traction in specialty stores, the win, quote, helped that quite a bit. For Skechers, it was the beginning of a very good week. They announced earnings the next day where they smashed estimates and over the next year or so captured the athleisure trend that Under Armour had missed and enjoyed rising share prices as a result. Skechers did not become a performance athletics company, and the stock has just bounced around since. Their current brand ambassadors are mostly retired athletes and golfers, plus Ed Cheserek, who replaces Meb as the elite distance runner. Still, the performance line championed by Meb continues to exist, and it even has a carbon-plated racing shoe that is meant to contend with Nike's revolutionary Vaporflies. While I was doing the research for this video, I had two revelations. The first was that any story you're going to do about sneakers is either about Nike or about how some company managed to outfox or outcompete Nike temporarily. The other thing I realized had to do with how moments make shoes and shoes sometimes make businesses. The NBA banning shoes for being the wrong colors, or Nike employee who didn't know how to pronounce the future MVP's name, or a past his prime runner all of a sudden winning the Boston Marathon. It only takes one athlete and one sneaker to entirely change a business. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy Sneaker Day.